Hello, my name is Scott Britton. I'm the President and CEO of MyIntelliSource. Today I will be giving an introduction to the MyIntelliClock Android application. For those of you who do not know what MyIntelliClock is a new cloud-based client self-appointment booking system. Our system allows your clients to make appointments 24/7, 365 at their convenience on the web or through our mobile applications for Android and iOS. This is accomplished via a schedule you can easily set and change with the system. MyIntelliClock was built to augment, ease, and possibly replace having clients call to make appointments on the phone. In the past, your clients could only make appointments during normal business hours and required dedicating someone to answering the phone to field appointments. With MyIntelliClock, you are no longer tied to making appointments only during normal business hours or by phone only. In addition, you do not have to dedicate someone to answering the phone just to field calls for appointments. MyIntelliClock puts the power of cloud technology into a modern appointment system where clients can make appointments at their convenience from the web or through the MyIntelliClock Android and iOS applications. It is very simple. We provide an HTML button for you to place on your website or social media pages, which links to your appointment page on our server cloud. In addition, the client can use the Android or iOS application and find you in our company directory and book an appointment. This video will talk about the MyIntelliClock Android application and show you how to use it to simplify, enhance, and streamline your client appointment system. It features superior effectiveness and efficiency using a simple-to-use interface. Your clients will love being able to make appointments at their convenience, and in addition, you will save time, overhead, and will be able to focus on more key core aspects of your business with MyIntelliClock. So let's get started in the next segment, learning how easy MyIntelliClock is to use and how to streamline and revolutionize your business. Welcome back. I have my Android device in hand and already have MyIntelliClock brought up on the screen. The first objective you need to complete as a provider is to register for a free MyIntelliSource account. I will open the navigation drawer, scroll down into the business section, and click on Account. Next, I will click the registration button and bring up the registration web page. To get started with a free MyIntelliSource account, we need just a few key pieces of information that is encrypted in our server cloud for your protection. You can select to have a business account or an individual account with the ability to change at a later date. Whichever you select will determine what information is displayed to your clients. I'm going to register my company as a business and enter the rest of the required information. Now I've entered my information, I'm going to hit submit. As you can see, I was successful. Before I log into MyIntelliClock, I must go to my email inbox and click the verification link embedded in an email just sent by our server cloud to verify you created the account. So I'm going to switch to my email and click the link. After I click the link, you will see that I have verified my account. I'm going to go back to MyIntelliClock now and sidetrack for a moment. The first step you should take is to set the time zone for the account, and this is only accomplished on the Server Cloud website for security purposes. So I'm going to log in here. This brings up the application's homepage. I'm going to click on MyIntelliClock's icon. This brings up the web application portion for MyIntelliClock. Since the web application is a separate video, I will only change the time zone in the settings homepage so all the times listed for me are in my correct time zone. In addition to setting the time zone, I'm going to set the global time constraint settings. This is a company-wide policy time slot availability range that also serves as a filter for narrowing the window of time shown when creating appointments. Since my company is located in Knoxville, Tennessee, and is located in Eastern Time, I will set our time zone to America, New York. In addition, I will set our starting appointment times to begin at 4 p.m. and to end at 11 p.m. I will hit submit and it will be saved to our server cloud. Now that we've gotten started off on the right foot, in the next section we will begin talking about inviting end users to use your account, as MyIntelliClock is a multi-user application system. In addition, we will talk about subscriptions, as a monthly per user end license is required to be listed in our company directory, allow clients to self-book appointments in MyIntelliClock, and allow end users to use your account. Welcome back. Let's begin with MyIntelliClock. Opening the navigation drawer. For providers, there are 9 options: business home, customers, appointments, services, availability, availability exceptions, invitations, users, and account, which leads us to your account on MyIntelliSource's website, where you can set up billing, change your information, and access the server settings. Our first stop in using MyIntelliClock is going to be at the Users menu option, which I will click now. Because I have not logged in previously, it is going to ask me to log in, which I will do now. MyIntelliClock is not a single user application, it is a multi-user application. With MyIntelliClock, every employee who needs scheduling can be invited as an end user to your account. To use MyIntelliClock to allow clients to self-book appointments, be listed in our company directory, and invite end users requires a per-user monthly subscription for every employee end user. In addition to being multi-user, MyIntelliClock is also multi-entity usable. If you or your business are a subscriber, you may also be an end user with another subscribing entity, which is switchable with a select drop-down control in Business Home, which I will show you later on. As you can see, I am not an end user for any other user groups, or these groups will be listed here. If I want to administer users with my own account, I click the User Administration button at the top of the screen. Because we have not subscribed yet, it will ask us to go to billing and subscribe to the MyIntelliClock service. Because I want my clients to use MyIntelliClock, I want my clients to be able to find me in the company directory, and I want to be able to enter a test in you. Because we have not subscribed yet, it will ask us to go to billing and subscribe to the MyIntelliClock service. Because I want clients to use MyIntelliClock, I want clients to be able to find my business in the MyIntelliClock company directory, and I want to enter a test end user, I will log in and subscribe. This will bring us to the billing homepage. As you can see, I don't already have a subscription for MyIntelliClock, so I will hit Create New Subscription. You select MyIntelliClock as a subscription and enter your credit card information, which is encrypted in our server cloud, and MyIntelliSource will automatically debit your account monthly until you terminate your subscription. You only have to subscribe once. If you need additional users, you simply send out user invitation, which I will show you in a moment, and your subscription is automatically updated when the end user accepts the invitation. In addition, if you revoke an end user's account, your subscription is automatically updated and reduced. Since I'm using our company's test server, I'm going to enter a test credit card number and create a billing transaction. As you can see, our subscription transaction was successful. So if I click the back button, you can now see my application subscription in the history. From this screen, you can change credit cards if need be, or cancel a subscription entirely at any time. Now, if I go back to MyIntelliClock and click User Administration, you can see that I have no end users at the moment. The method my company chose to add end users was to send out invitations. So let's invite an end user to join. I will click Invite New User. The only piece of information you need to invite an end user to use your account with certain restrictions is his or her email address. Our company sends out an invitation email immediately to the potential user with an embedded link which automatically links he or she to your account. As I said before, you are not billed for additional users until they successfully accept the invitation by clicking the embedded link in the email and either logging in if they already have a free account with MyIntelliSource, or by creating a new account with MyIntelliSource. I'm going to put my test end user email address in, click Invite User, and the confirmation now. That is it. You have successfully extended MyIntelliClock functionality for this user with no complicated administration process. Now, if I switch to my email program, you will see the invitation email. I will click the link in the email. Because I've already demonstrated how to create a MyIntelliSource account, I created this end user account ahead of time so we could just log in and the accounts would be linked. I will log in here and then go back to MyIntelliClock. If we go back a screen, you will see the linked account now. Now I'm going to sidestep the user's menu option for a moment to show you how end users can switch between their own subscriber account and be an end user on another account. I'm going to log out of MyIntelliClock as our subscriber account and log into MyIntelliClock with my new user account. Both of these steps can be accomplished in Business Home. First, I log out of our subscriber account. Next, I'm going to reopen the navigation drawer and select Business Home again because it will trigger a request for authentication. So this time I will log in as our new end user account. Now on Business Home, below the logout button, there's a drop-down control. If I click it, I can see the words My Account and MyIntelliSource. Switching between accounts is as simple as going to Business Home and selecting your desired account. With MyIntelliClock, there is no limit to the number of accounts where you can be an end user, and switching between them is accomplished with this select drop-down control. Now that I've covered how to add a subscription and end user to the account so you can arm as many employees as you want with appointment booking services and how to switch between your accounts, in the next section I will cover creating services first and then creating appointment times for your customers to choose from inside the MyIntelliClock iOS or Android app or on the web at your appointment homepage on our server cloud. Welcome back. In the previous section, we talked about end users, subscriptions, and switching between user accounts. In this section, we are going to talk about creating services and an appointment schedule which your clients can choose from on a first-come, first-served basis. MyIntelliClock's appointment system is twofold. You need two things to create an appointment, a service and a time slot. We will start with creating services. I will open up the navigation drawer and select services because you need to enter services first to create appointment time slots. Services is a subscriber-only enabled feature, meaning only the subscribing user may enter or modify services or allow end users to offer certain services, while end users may only view them. As you can see, we have no services entered currently. Services offered are at your discretion. You can have only one service if you want, or you can have an unlimited numbers of services to choose from. In my example, I will create 4 services for my company. So let's begin. The 4 services I'm going to create are consulting, technical support, billing, and other. So you start by clicking Enter New Service. I'm going to create the consulting service first. 2 fields are required in services, the summary field and the user field. The rest are optional. In addition, not all options show up on all devices. It depends on the device. So for my new consulting service, I'm going to put consulting as a summary, put custom cloud, web, iOS, and Android solutions as a description. I'm going to enter $100 as the price. For my users, I'm going to select my account only, and I will skip adding an image and save it. So we've created our first service, which is now visible. Now, if we wanted to edit our new service, we click on it, and we can edit every option and resave it. You can even mark it as inactive if you want to stop the service from being used for a time. I'm going to go back and enter my other 3 services that I want to offer with MyIntelliClock to my clients. Now that I have my 4 services listed, we can move to creating appointment slots for the services. So I will go back to the navigation drawer and select availability. In MyIntelliClock, availability is a weekly baseline schedule set up by day and changed by either deleting it or creating another day of availability that supersedes the old day and date. It is very simple to create appointment time slots. As you can see, I have no availability at the moment. For this demonstration, I'm going to create an availability only for Monday to use as an example throughout the rest of the video. So I click Enter New Availability and I'm forwarded it to selecting a day. So I will select Monday, and this is where we begin building our schedule. As you can see, I have no time slots currently. So I hit Add Row, and this is where we begin entering our appointment details. Availability time slots can be as short or as long as you want them with time between appointments, and they can be in 5-minute increments. You can select to offer all services or a single service depending on your needs. If you so desire, you can create, for example, 1-hour appointments for all services in the morning and 2-hour appointments for a single service in the afternoon. The only restriction you have is you cannot overlap appointment time slots. A point that I should make here is that I'm only creating availability time slots for myself. End users can create their own time slots with the services you allow them at their discretion, as long as the time slots are within the global parameters we set previously at the first of the video. Those global parameters also keep you from having to scroll from the very beginning of the list, which starts at 12 a.m., to the possibility of the end of the list, which is 11:55 p.m. So it is both a very useful company policy tool and assists in creating faster appointment slots. Because MyIntelliClock uses 5-minute increments, you can really dial in the appointments to meet your needs. So I'm going to create 1-hour appointment slots between 4 and 11 for any service. So I will select the options for my first appointment service and then save it. Now you can see we have entered a time slot. In less than a minute, I will create an entire day of availability, which I will do now. The nice feature about adding rows is that once the time slot is selected, it is removed from the selection time when you go to add another appointment time slot. If you make a mistake after you create a row of availability, you can simply tap the row and it will be removed, like this. So in less than a minute, I can create an entire day of availability for every Monday of every week of every year. Now that I've created my Monday availability, I will hit Save New Availability, and you'll see Monday in my weekly list of availability. Once you hit Save, it automatically takes effect. If you delete or supersede a day of availability, it does not remove your appointments already made prior to the change in availability. Those appointments will remain in your schedule unless you cancel them, which I will show you how to later on in the video. So now that we've covered adding services and creating appointment time slots, in the next section we will discuss availability exceptions, which keep you from having to create an entire day of availability to remove a time slot, for example, if you need time off. Welcome back. In this section, we're going to talk about creating temporary exceptions to your baseline availability in MyIntelliClock. Availability exceptions allow you to remove a section of time from your baseline availability without having to create a whole new schedule every time. So I'll open up the navigation drawer and click on Availability Exceptions. As you can see, we currently do not have any availability exceptions listed. I will click Enter New Exception. Availability exceptions are date-based, meaning you create an exception for a specific date and time. In addition, one exception can span multiple appointments. You don't need to create multiple availability exceptions for each appointment slot. Let's say I need 2 hours off on February 28th starting at 4 p.m. for a doctor's appointment. I will select the date and hit submit. Similar to entering availability, you add rows and then save the content. So I will click Add Row. While you could select all services to eliminate on a specific date, availability exceptions can also be set for a specific service as well if you want to remove that service from your availability temporarily. So I will select my start and end times of 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. and I'm going to remove all services during this time period. So I select any service and then I will hit save. As you can see, we added a row, and similar to availability, if you make a mistake, you can click the row like this and delete it. So I will hit save and finalize my availability exception. Two things to note about availability exceptions. Like availability, the instant you save an availability exception, it takes effect. Second, if a client has already booked an appointment during the time frame you attempt to create an availability exception, you will receive an error. You first need to cancel the client appointment and then create the exception. Now that we have discussed how to create an exception to your schedule without having to create an entire new schedule, in the next section we will cover entering customers and booking appointments manually in the system should a customer not choose to use MyIntelliClock. Welcome back. In this section, we are going to cover manually booking appointments in MyIntelliClock in the event a customer does not use the system to book an appointment. So I will open up the navigation drawer and select Customers. As you can see, we have no customers in our system. So to create a new customer manually, you click Enter New Customer. I am going to enter my nephew Clark in the system. There are 4 fields that are required: name prefix, first name, last name, and email. All other fields are optional. The reason that the customer's email is required is that reminders and confirmations of the appointment are sent by email. So I will enter Clark's information into the system. So I hit submit and now Clark is listed as a customer. So there are 2 ways to manually create an appointment in MyIntelliClock. One is to find the specific customer, as I will show here, and the other is to click on the Appointments navigation drawer menu option and create an appointment from there, which I will show in a moment. So to create an appointment for Clark, I click on his name. In addition, you may edit the client's information here as well. So I click on the Appointments row below Clark's personal information and it brings up the Customer Appointment screen. Currently, there are no appointments booked for Clark, or they would show as rows of appointments. So I click Enter New Appointment and it brings up which service to select for the client. Because Clark is not really a customer and he just wants to entertain me, I will select Other. So now I will show how availability and availability exceptions work. I will click on February 28th, which is the date I selected to enter my availability exception, so you can see that the time slots have been removed. As you can see, the only time slots of 6 p.m. and beyond are listed. For my appointment with Clark, I will select 6 p.m. Now we come to the confirmation screen. I will click Book Appointment and confirm it. We were forwarded back to Clark's appointments where you can see the new appointment listed. Let's say I need to cancel this appointment and reschedule for the following Monday. I click on the appointment, which shows the appointment details, and to cancel, I click Cancel and confirm it, and now the appointment is canceled. One thing to note here about canceled appointments: once the appointment is canceled, MyIntelliClock automatically allows a replacement appointment to be booked by this or another customer in place of the canceled appointment. So I'm going to rebook Clark's appointment, but on a different Monday. As you can see, now all time slots are open to choose from because there are no availability exceptions or appointments booked. So I'm going to select the 4 p.m. time slot because that's when Clark gets out of school, and book an appointment. Now that we've seen how to create a customer and book an appointment manually through the customer system, in the next section I will show you how to see your day's appointments and book an appointment through that section as well. Welcome back. In this section I will cover viewing your appointments for a specific date and how to book an appointment from this section of the application. So we begin by opening the navigation drawer and selecting Appointments. This brings up the calendar with the default date being the current date. I am going to select February 21st because this is the date I created my appointment for Clark. If we had had more than one appointment for the day, then it would be listed as well. This section allows you to drill down on what appointments you have scheduled for the day, and if I click on Clark's, it shows the appointment information, and you may cancel the appointment if need be as well. If we go back, we can add another appointment for Clark. I click Book New Appointment, and a list of customers comes up to choose for whom the appointment would be. Because Clark is our only client listed, I select his name, and then the service selection screen is displayed. Remember, in MyIntelliClock, appointments are by service. This time I'm going to create a billing appointment for Clark. To show that the canceled appointment can be rebooked, I'm going to select February 28th as the appointment date. As you can see, the canceled appointment time is now available again. I will select the exact same time to book an appointment for Clark. This brings up the confirmation screen. I will click Book Appointment and confirm it. We are forwarded back to the calendar to select a date to view all our appointments on a specific date. So I will select February 28th as our example again to show something. Two things occur under this screen. First, for completeness, booked appointments and canceled appointments are displayed. Second, if you are the managing subscriber, both your appointments and the appointments of your end users will be displayed. With end users, only their appointments are displayed. MyIntelliClock's appointment screen allows you to easily view your schedule for a given day with complete detail. In the next section, we will take a look at the client side of the equation so you can see what your clients see. Welcome back. In this section, we will look at the client side of the application so you can see what your clients see. Opening the navigation drawer, there are 5 menu options for clients: home, businesses, appointments, associated businesses, and account. We always start with home. This is where the client can log out of MyIntelliClock if he or she chooses to. Logging out is the only option available on the home screen, so we will move on to how clients find your business. Clients can find your business in MyIntelliClock in 2 different ways: searching for you in businesses, or if they are already a client, they can find you in associated businesses. So I will start with businesses. Before clients can select menu options, they must register to use the service. Upon selecting a menu option, they will be prompted to log in or register for the first time, and I will go through the client registration system so you can see what the clients see. I will click on businesses. This will prompt us to log in or register. Because we want to register as a new client, I will click on register. This brings up the client registration page, which is a separate system from the business side. The required fields for a client to register are name prefix, first name, last name, email, and password, which are all encrypted on our server cloud. So I will register myself as a client and hit submit, and then I will go back and log in. I enter my login credentials and a list of businesses will come up. Your clients can search for your business at the top, so MyIntelliSource is the only business listed in our test server, so I will select it. The list of services we provide is then displayed. I will select Consulting. Next, the client can select from the list of providers you allow in services to provide the service. My name is the only one listed, so I will select it. Next, the client can select the date he or she wishes to book an appointment to see availability. Because we only have Monday as our availability, I will select February 21st. I will select the first available appointment, which is 5 p.m. This brings up a summary of the appointment for the client. I will click Book Appointment and confirm, and the client, which is me at the moment, has successfully booked an appointment. Now, if I go back to the navigation drawer and click Appointments in the Client section, you can see the appointment I just booked is present. Clicking on it brings up the details of the appointment. If the client at a later date needs to cancel this appointment, they can do so from this screen. In addition, the reminder email we send out 3 days in advance of a scheduled appointment has both a confirmation and cancellation link embedded in it, so the client has multiple ways to cancel an appointment. So now we switch to the other method that clients can find you, which is through associated businesses. Once a client has used MyIntelliClock to book an appointment with you, they can quickly find you again under associated businesses. I will go back to the navigation drawer and click on associated businesses. If I click on MyIntelliSource, our business details would come up had we entered them in the system. Below the business detail, there is a row that says appointments. If I click on it, I can view the appointments I have with this business plus schedule a new appointment. The client interface is very straightforward and designed with a drill down type style that is easy for clients to use. In the next section, I will conclude this video with some closing remarks. This concludes my demonstration of MyIntelliClock via the Android application. I hope you found it informative and useful. Please make sure to watch the videos on this page that outline MyIntelliClock for iOS devices and the web application. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to email me personally at the email address listed at the end of this video. Once again, my name is Scott Britton. I'm the President and CEO of MyIntelliSource. Thank you for watching, and I hope you will give MyIntelliClock a try and subscribe to our service. Have a great day.